All right, dove imagery. Go to Philippians 2. Remember a moment ago we talked about the dove coming down at Jordan and resting on Jesus, and it wasn't an eagle, and it wasn't a raven, it wasn't a hawk, it wasn't a predatory or a bird that eats carrion, dead animals, dead bodies. It was the little cooing dove. And the image we get of Jesus out of the gate in the book of John can be a little disturbing, especially if we think God's supposed to be super masculine and knock stuff over all the time. You know? Bible tells you in John that Jesus came from the bosom of the Father. Hebrew word it uses there is the same word for breast that it uses on a woman. Greek word there, pulls from the Hebrew. Jesus came from the breast of his Father. And you go, that's weird. Father doesn't have breast. Well, God has within him the qualities of male and female. Otherwise, where'd women come from? I mean, ladies, you're not some sort of accident. I don't care what the church has taught you about. Listen, the whole subservient thing, you should be subservient to men. Whatever men say is what should go. Why do we treat that in the Bible like it's a moral imperative? Remember when God says to Eve in the book of Genesis, your desire shall be to your husband. Remember that? And then we act like that's a moral imperative, like God says that's how to be moral. No, that was the curse. Remember? Adam and Eve sin. And then God puts curses. And the curse for women is you're going to be morally subservient to your husband and you're going to have much pain in childbearing. Much pain in childbearing has a much deeper meaning than it's going to hurt to have kids. Much pain in childbearing means your heart's going to break for them. It's going to break over and it's going to break over and it's going to break over and it's going to break over again, so it's going to make you mom. And that's part of that curse. And that curse can be lifted because Christ went to the cross as the curse for us. Amen. I think that's pretty good news. Yeah. Now you do that with that what you will. That's a freebie. The Holy Spirit descends like a dove. It makes more sense if he descends like an eagle. Makes more sense if he runs in like a lion. I mean, wouldn't that be more powerful? But here you got Jesus coming out of his dad's breast and cooing like a dove. You go, what message is God trying to send? I'll tell you the message God's trying to send. I'm going to send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. You've got to be wise as serpents, but I want you to be harmless as doves. Because I'm going to put you back in a garden, and in that garden is going to be a beautiful experience. We're going to grow together in that garden. The innocent side of us is something we should not suppress and something we should not turn off. It's something we should embrace. It's something we should show forth. And men in particular, we have a difficulty with this because to bear our innocence is to bear an emotional side of us that a lot of us have tried to keep shielded and a lot of us have tried to keep suppressed because we think it makes us weak. And that's because we don't understand Jesus. We don't understand the physiology of Jesus, and we don't understand the psychology of Jesus, and we don't understand why he was here and what he was here for. It wasn't about making men weak, but we are exposed through the fact that we are harmless as doves to the side of us that can be empathetic. You can be strong and empathetic at the same time. In fact, it makes a much better leader. I mean, a leader with no empathy doesn't know how anybody feels that's following him. And doesn't care. It's not sympathy. Sympathy is just feeling sorry for people. Empathy is understanding why they feel the way that they feel. And feeling a little bit of it with them. Paul grabbed hold of it to the Romans and said, cry with those that cry. Laugh with those that laugh. Why did he say that? Be empathetic. Be innocent like a dove. Realize that other people feel and they hurt and they have pain. It's not your moral obligation to have pain with them, but understand why they hurt and why they have pain and why they think the way that they do. Guys, this is going to take a little bit of mental effort. We're going to have to work on this because we live in a very divided world socially, economically, politically, culturally, and we don't like the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of the other side. We think they're all wrong and stupid. That's our nature. We watch to have our side reinforced. And then when we change the channel to the other side, we go, look at how much of a liar they are. Look at how stupid they are. This is all, nobody's telling the truth over here. And we have lost any empathy to realize why someone might believe the way they do. And I'm not saying that everything on the other side is right. But let's be honest, is everything on our side right? Very rarely. Never. And be empathetic is not the ability to just act like everything you believe doesn't matter, but it's the ability to see what's happening on the other side and realize that there's pain and there's a reason for that pain. Jesus was awesome at this because he could walk into a room and suffer with somebody who lived a lifestyle he could not possibly understand. He never committed adultery, much less was caught in the act of adultery. Are you kidding? And drug out into the public square to be stoned to death. And yet, a heart of empathy because he could imagine what that might feel like.